According to God, the white man is the devil. You see, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white ass, need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone be. Boy, ask you to stop and ask you to drop. It's about to get serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed he up on parole because of the COVID. It feel like the hoes in this world that don't go together. Nowhere is golden to get them. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settled. See the prophets. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. You know, like we all come together. Cause you know what they say God so loved the world. God so loved the world, and boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, y'all, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to one step. I'm solid for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent. I got it. Let's go. Let's go. I ain't taking no loss. Ain't no talking when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just play with your own. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell them we can't keep it slate. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high. Got your baby pass through the fire. Ask you the prophets. That baby soul belong to the Lord. I dare you abort it. If that will fail you, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. Push your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop and ask you the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for, lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about.
Hi. All right, clap it up. If you would like a school, put on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, Go. Today is a Wednesday night law class. Off the text, if y'all got any questions in the room, raise your hand and ask a question, any question, it doesn't matter. This is what we do. This is the only way our people want to come back to our nationality, to know what's right and what's wrong, and kind of learn the laws of the Lord. We are not a religion. We are a nation of people that follow laws, statutes, and commandments. Just like in the U.S., they follow laws, but it's supposed to. You know, if you got enough money, you ain't got to follow laws.
That's right.
But in our nation, being that there is no respecter of person, we have laws, statutes, and commandments that we live by, and our focus is to become a righteous nation again, and not a nation full of hypocrites. That is the reason the majority of us live here, because we saw hypocrisy in the places we were in before. And it made us say, you know what, I don't want to be in this place full of hypocrites, because I sincerely want to serve the Lord the right way. You got to remember that you and everyone in here is trying to serve the Lord the right way. So we all make mistakes and do things that we don't have no business doing, but you're in this place to change and to learn how not to be who you have always been. You understand? All right, so no questions? Go ahead.
I'm trying to ask questions. So. All right, I see this point brought up, but so sex is marriage, right?
Right.
All right, so what if you find out like your red
with somebody a year ago or something, 6 months ago, who obviously been with her. What do we teach a brother to do in those situations?
Okay, this is law class, right? All right, let's say you unalive somebody 10 years ago. They find the body 10 years later. What happens to you when they connect your health to it? All right. If you find out 10 years from now that your wife cheated on you, you can leave her. Why didn't you leave her then?
Because I didn't know.
All right. So law.
Shalom.
That's the answer. That's the law. And this is the law class, not the religion or feelings class. This is want to help you understand how to govern yourself. So you find out 10 years from now, somebody did so when y'all were on a break. Y'all was on a break and she went back to Tyrone. You find out 10 years from now, you can say, I'm done with this. You can choose to do that. Now you can choose to say, I'm gonna stay as well. But it's gonna damage your integrity. It's gonna damage how you feel about your relationship. Because men are not women. And that's just, we just don't forgive in that world as easy as, you understand?
No, sir.
All right?
Can I pull a precinct?
Continue.
I'll go for Jeremiah.
Go ahead. Collusion?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. You pull that. Have somebody read it. Jeremiah 3:1.
So y'all cannot.
They got mics set on both
No,
sides?
this is the mic for them. You can take the mic out there.
Share.
Jeremiah,
Go ahead.
look at Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 1. They say, if a man put away his wife, and she goes from him and become another man, shall he return to her again? Shall not that man be greatly believed? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me.
So, what this is saying is that if a woman go out and be with another man, she's greatly polluted. That's what it's saying. But because Christ has died, everybody gets another chance. You can make the choice whether or not you want to stay or leave. But I would tell you as a man to leave. Because you're never going to trust you want to get, and it's going to be detrimental to the man who this counsel that I will give for him. All right, that's it. So today I want to talk about one of the most highly misunderstood scriptures on the earth. I bet you everybody knows this one. What is that? John 3:16. And I want to talk about this scripture because it is the fabric that all of our lives have been built on. When you look at the world and you look at God's in the world, Buddha, who is Buddha for? Six. The Chinese people. Is Buddha required to love all people? Has anybody ever heard anybody say that Buddha loves all people? Has anybody ever heard that before? No. Has anybody ever heard Krishna love all people? What about Allah? Does Allah love all people? There's only one God that's required to love all people. And that's yours. So that means everyone else has their own God, but you have to share your God. You don't have your own God. And the God of the Bible is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He says it over and over, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And why do they say that so much? Why is it said so many times? Why is it reiterated so many times all over the Bible?
To let you know that he's coming.
Should have let you know exactly who he belongs to and who you belong to. Well, we've been reading the Bible and being taught the Bible by people that don't understand the context of the Bible. And because with every scripture in the Bible, it has context. And if you don't understand the context, when you read it, you're going to be confused. They'll be able to twist it to make it say anything. So let's start in John chapter 3. We're going to start at 3. We're going to start at verse 1. And we're going to read. If you got any questions that something don't make sense, please ask. Because your question is someone else's question. They may not have the courage to ask. Right. So ask your question. You're not combative because you have a different understanding than we do. All right? Read that question. Read that scripture. John chapter 3, verse 1.
The book of John, chapter 3, verse 1. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews.
A what?
Ruler of the Jews.
In John chapter 3, who is Christ talking to? You know, when Christ says, "For God so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, shall have everlasting life." Who was Christ talking to in your mind, in the Christian church? Who do you think Christ is talking to?
Oh,
In the Christian church, you imagine Christ standing on the mountaintop talking to a multitude of people. Who was standing out there? Red, yellow, black, and white. It's like Jesus loved the little children of the world. That's what you saw in your head when you read this scripture. But today we're going to put it in context so we can know exactly who he's talking to. Read it again.
YATAZAQ, the book of John, chapter 3, verse 1. There was a man of the Pharisees.
A man of what?
Pharisees.
What is a Pharisee? An Israelite. And what type of Israelite is he? Go ahead.
A righteous Israelite?
No. Israelite? Yes, true. But in the world, what we call this type of Israelite? He was a what? Yes, but
A preacher.
yes, he was a political leader. He was a preacher. He was a religious leader in the community. So now Christ is talking to a religious leader. Christ is talking to T.D. Jakes. Christ is talking to Creflo Dollar. Christ is talking to Tony Evans. I'm trying to get you to see it in your mind today so it can make sense. So, Darren, read it again.
YATAZAQ, sir. The book of John, chapter 3, verse 1. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews.
A what?
Ruler of the Jews.
Just like everybody today look up to Creflo Dollar, TDJ, they are rulers of black people. They sit at the top. Everyone looks up to them. That's why the rich go to them for counsel. That's why everyone respects them. Well, that's what type of man came to Christ. Keep going.
YATAZAQ, sir. Verse 2. The same came to Jesus by night.
When did he come?
By night.
What does it say about him coming to Jesus? At nighttime. I know.
And he doesn't want anybody to know that he's talking to, Jesus.
Yes, he doesn't want anybody to know that he's talking to this revolutionary. See, in your mind, you imagine Christ as someone everybody loves. Well, if he's someone everybody loves, why did they kill him? See, Christ's message was revolutionary. Christ's message was against the Romans. And he was telling the Israelites not to be like the Romans. You have heard it said that this should be done like this. Well, I say to do it like this. Why? Because they were going away from the law and turning to the way that Romans did things. They were starting to live like the Romans because the Romans were occupying Jerusalem the same way the U.S. occupies other countries. So I can put it to you in a practical sense. The same way the U.S. has a military in pick a place. In what? In Iran or in Afghanistan or wherever we base that. That's the same way it was with the Romans. The Roman Empire had a military base set up in Jerusalem, and we were starting to be influenced by them. So now black men come to this revolutionary by night. And what does he say to him?
Found on one concert and said it to him, Rabbi, we know that thou art the teacher come from God.
We know what?
That thou art a teacher come from God.
Okay, this is the part that people don't understand. Who knows that Christ was a teacher that come from God? Who is the we?
I thought you said who knows that like Christ and people come.
When in this scripture right here, we say we know that thou art a teacher that come from God. Who is the we? The Pharisees, the religious leaders. They not looking at him like he's some dummy. They respect what he's saying, but they don't want to acknowledge that he's right because then they'll lose their seats. Because the white man has them at a certain status, and they're supposed to be the go-between from the Romans to the people. So it's the Romans, the Pharisees, and the people. But then there's Christ and the disciples and this movement that's going on at this time. And they have to defame Christ. So every time you read in the Bible where Christ is talking or teaching, the Pharisees and the Sadducees were the ones in the audience scoffing. Well, what about this? What do you say about that? Why? Because they have to defame Christ in the people's mind. You understand? Because if you don't defame Christ in the people's mind, then everybody will follow Christ and leave the church. This is what you see happening right now. They got to say we some cult members. They got to say that we drink blood. I don't know what people say about us now, but they got to say some crazy stuff about us to make us think like we're not human, and then we just live in the scariest life, and our women get beat on, and we just do what we just live. What's his name that made people drink the Kool-Aid? Jim Jones type of life. That's what they got to say, right? Because what we say makes too much sense, and it works. So they got to defame us. So he said, we know that you are a teacher that comes from God. Him and all the religious leaders knew that what Christ was teaching was right. Just like they know what we said is right now. Keep going.
For no man can do these miracles that thou doest.
Can't nobody get these niggas off drugs. Can't nobody get these women in the house being wives unless it was a what?
Except God be with him.
Except the Lord be with him. Come on, how many of our family members go to church every day and they the worst people in the community? And then when they die, everybody crying. What you crying for? How is it that everybody die and get wings on their program? Right? Why ain't nobody standing in flames on their picture on their program? Don't they believe in heaven and hell? Now Pookie sold drugs for 37 years. He done killed 15 people. The whole family know it. Pookie got on the white suit and standing standing in the wings of the gates of heaven on this program. Now, you a Christian, you don't believe Pookie went to heaven. Pookie wasn't saved. Pookie didn't get baptized. Well, how did he go to heaven? Because you don't really believe in heaven. You just use heaven and hell as a concept. The same way slave masters use, right? To keep you alive. You act bad, it's the same thing people say about Christmas. You act bad, you won't get any gifts. If you act good, you'll go to heaven. You act bad, you'll go to heaven. That's what the slave masters use. Well, no. They know that Christ is doing real miracles because he was changing people that were evil and wicked. Who did Christ hang around? The rich? The politicians?
Around like 4 people every day like that. I got a question.
Go ahead.
That's why I know you were saying about everybody kill people and everything. You know, everybody going to heaven.
Right?
So, what is the reality of that?
That's what we're going to get into. So what we're going to talk about today is what being born again really is. Because the Christians use it like it's just different. Just I believe and I'm saying that. We're going to show you exactly what Christ is talking about. So you can understand how to do it. So yeah. Christ hung with the drug dealers, killers, and the prostitutes and all that. Because sick people need a doctor. You take sick people to the doctor. You know, the doctors don't stand where all that, don't go where the healthy people at. They go where the sick people are. That's what Christ and the disciples did. To the places that nobody will go to. For them, show not the Pharisees and Sadducees. Because they were uppity. All right? Keep going.
Time, sir. Verse 3. Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God.
See, what does it mean to be born again? First of all, tell me what it means to be born again in the church. See?
To be born again in the church is to be in that swimming pool. Yeah,
Right.
that's to be born again.
Right. And what do you have to do first? You have to, before you get to go in the water, you have to
You have to say that Jesus is your Lord.
Right.
He hung on the cross and died for you.
right. And then after that, at that moment,
Then you get it.
then you say, go ahead. Say it again.
I believe it or not believe it, right?
That's what the religion teaches. Religion teaches that the only people that's going to hell is non-believers. Right? That's what we're going to show you today. What this really is. What's really going on? Keep going.
Come, sir. Verse 4. Nicodemus said unto him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born?
When Christ said you must be born again, what was he implying? No, go ahead. Go ahead. Give them a hand. People don't want to become a new man. People just want their sins washed away. It's two different things. Having your sins washed away, that's not becoming a new man. That's just like you fixing my credit. That don't mean I'm going to make better credit. And that's what Christianity wants. Christianity just doesn't want God to see their sins anymore. But they don't want to become new. Christ said the only way you're going to get the kingdom is if you become a new man. But religion says the way you get the kingdom is to hide your sins. Just wash them away. Let's get into it. Go ahead.
Come, verse 5. Jesus answered, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter the kingdom of God.
What's the water? Nope. You got to be born of the water and the Spirit. So do you get the Spirit by the water, the baptism? So I'm asking, when you come out of the water, do you have a different spirit? Does it change you?
It's like, so the water is the word.
Yes, the water is the teaching. The thing that changes you is when you learn something different. Me going in, if I went into the pool, went into the pool, when I come out the water, I'm not be high. Right. And I'm not going to be convinced that I'm not supposed to smoke anymore. So you know what I'm saying when I get out? Well, we come from the ground, and we all fall short, and ain't nothing wrong with it. And I mean, what's wrong with smoking a little weed? That's not going to change me. No. So what am I going to keep doing? Keep sinning. And then I'm going to keep getting baptized. I'm going to keep feeling bad and doing what's wrong, and I'm never going to change. So I'm never going to become new. I'm going to continue to make excuses to do the same thing over and over and over again. And Christ is telling you, the only way for you to be born again is the first thing you have to do is die. And so Nicodemus is saying, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to go back into my mother's womb and be born again? And that's how people look at it. I can't die because you don't see it's the spirit that has to die. What spirit? The spirit of Christianity, the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of Easter, the spirits that's put on you through all of your different beliefs in your religion. All of it is spiritual. That has to die. And you have to have the water that changes. The teaching changes the spirit. The water changes the spirit. Y'all understand? I hope I'm not moving too fast. The water, the teaching, is what changed the spirit in you. That's what we teach you. That's what Christ is teaching. Keep going.
One concept. Verse 6. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the spirit is spirit.
If you're born in the world and you don't ever die, you're going to always remain fleshly. You're going to always remain carnal, meaning you'll never see the spiritual thing. So many people read the Bible and they don't have a clue what they read. And you know, they always say, I'm trying to get in touch with God, so I'm going to start reading from Genesis again. How many times have you read the Bible from Genesis? And stop in Exodus. Right? Stop in 2 Kings. Because you don't understand what's going on. A whole bunch of names and a whole bunch of people. And like, what is the world is all this? What does it have to do with anything? It's confusing. Because you don't understand what you're reading. The Bible is a history book about your family. And it has documented everyone else's forefathers that started their tribes. And so what you learn in the Bible is world history. That's why we talk about kings, princes, armies. They talk about dynasties, reigns, rulership, rises and falls. Why? Because it's telling you the history from our nation's standpoint. You learn American history. From whose standpoint? Theirs. You learn his story. Their story about what happened to them. According to their story, they came over here and found Native Indians, but they found it. How do you find a place, you the founder of a place that's full of people? Right. That's like you walking in your house and saying, this is my house. Right. And you stole my house, and I kick you out, call the police, and put my stuff in your closet, and have say, that's my house. That's ignorance. Go ahead.
The Bible is for earth right. So it's information, it's for you to earth.
No, the Bible is a record book. That is a thing that people say to correlate the Bible to. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
when I like think about the Bible, I think about like, well, I think like in some parts it is supposed to be a warning for us to stop following like the path of our sins from our ancestors, so we can stop sinning and stop doing whatever we're not supposed to be doing. Is that also?
Yes, the Bible is stories of your ancestors that did the same thing you do, that think the same way you think. You know what happened in the garden with Adam and Eve? It was Adam and Eve living in a garden, meaning everything was in order. Adam was at the top, and then some serpent came into their garden. Look up serpent right now. Look it up. Look up serpent and tell me the definition of a serpent. And this, another thing about the Bible is written by your ancestors. So a lot of stuff they say is slang.
Right.
So this is how we talk. What is the definition for a serpent? Brother, right here. You read it. You got a definition?
Pulling up right now.
You got the definition? Go ahead.
A sly or treacherous person, especially one who is exploited from position of trust in order to be great.
You hear that? A sly or treacherous person. It wasn't no big old snake that came in there and started talking to Eve. It was a man that came and started talking to Eve. And this man came to Eve and said, the black woman is God. And you should try this new stuff over here. See, I know you got y'all learning this, but you should try to learn this. And she's like, baby, he said we should try this. And Adam was like, whatever. But if you want to. And they went and started to learn from another God, from another nation. Guess what? Adam and Eve wasn't the only two people on earth. They wasn't the only two people. They were the first two people in the truth. On day 6, God created male and female, told them to be fruitful and multiply the earth. Adam came from the people. Adam and Eve came from the people on day 6. But he brought them out of the dirt. If I say, man, I got you out the mud, what am I saying? If I say, man, you switching up on me, but you were saying that when I brought you out the mud, what am I saying? See, you came from nothing. I put you on. You came from nothing. Well, guess what? The Lord brought Adam and Eve from nothing, out the dirt, and blew the breath of life in them. What is the breath of life? His laws, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
It's truth. He gave Adam the truth in the garden, and Adam messed it up from the beginning. That's how we feel as a family.
Right.
Because Adam is our forefather. That's why the story is called with him for us. You know what I'm saying? So this is a known fact to these brothers. And that's why he said what?
God of the one kind. That which is born of the flesh is flesh. And that which is born of the spirit is spirit.
If you don't ever change, you're gonna always be carnal like Adam was. That's why I said the first man, Adam, in the book of Corinthians, the first man, Adam, was a living soul, but the last Adam became a quickening spirit. Because the first Adam received the truth, but the last Adam gives the truth. Meaning now what we do is we give the truth. We give life. At first we had to receive life. Adam received life from the Most High, now we give life. Everybody that's in the world is what? Yeah. If we give in life, everybody in the world is what?
They try to follow take other life.
They did. And that's why when Adam and Eve sinned, it said, surely this day you will die.
That's right.
What kind of death did they partake in?
Spiritual death.
Spiritual death. They were separated from the Most High.
That's right.
See what I'm saying? Adam and Eve didn't die on the day they sinned, but they were separated from the Lord. They were kicked out of the garden. Their culture, they riches was taken from them, and now they had to live in the field where all the beasts were that was round about the garden. Who were the beasts? All the other nations. And that's why the serpent was the beast of the field.
That's right.
Because all other nations are beasts. They don't have a dietary law. They don't have a law that says don't eat pork, crab, shrimp, or lobster. They eat whatever they want to eat, like an animal. They're the beasts of the field. Well, guess what the Lord do? He took us out of our garden that was organized and put us in a field with all other beasts. That's what's happening, and nobody understands that because they are fleshly. They're carnal. They don't understand the spirit of the Lord in this book. But that's why the Lord gave it to his priests and prophets, and he's giving it to you to come in here so that you can understand life. Life ain't all about living and dying. Life is about blessings and curses too.
That's right.
We never get to experience life because we live in under so much poverty and curse and hatred and despair from our past, from the pain we've gone through. But the Lord, our King, is offering a new life for you to be born again. And for anybody that was born in the conditions that we've been born in, that sounds beautiful. Another chance, fresh start, keep going.
Verse 7. Marvel not that I said unto thee, ye must be born again.
Keep going.
Count on one count, sir. Verse 8. The wind bloweth where it liketh, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but cannot tell whence it cometh, whither it goeth. So everyone that is born of the Spirit. Verse 9.
The Spirit goes all over. The Spirit is not, it's spiritual. And the Spirit takes hold of some people, and some people reject the Spirit. That's what he said, the Spirit go where it wants. I can't put the Spirit on you. A lot of people think that you can make somebody serve Christ. You could drag your child to church every Sunday and they'll become an atheist. Why? Because that spirit ain't for them. You can't make somebody serve the Lord. The Spirit goes where it want to go. Keep going.
Count on one count, sir. Verse 9. Nicodemus answered and said unto him, how can these things be? Verse 10. Jesus answered and said unto him, art thou a master of Israel, and knowest not these things?
What is Christ doing? He's telling Christ said, you a teacher and you don't know how to get people into the kingdom? What are you doing? What are you doing if you don't know how to get people into the kingdom? Your Christian pastor has been dipping people in water, and his father, and his father's father, and his father's father's father been dipping people in water, and water can't save you. They don't know how to get you in the kingdom. Keep going.
Count on one count, sir. Verse 11. Verily, verily, I say unto thee, we speak that what we we speak that we do know, and testify that we have seen, and receive not our witness.
You don't listen to what we say. You don't receive our witness. You don't receive our breakdowns. We're teaching you, but you're not receiving it. Drop down to when we start going into the most 13.
Oh, yeah.
14.
14. Yeah, 14 comes.
Now, this is two Jews talking to each other. So now watch what he says.
The book of John, chapter 3, verse 14. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so the Son of Man be lifted up.
Keep going. Hold up. As Moses was lifted up the serpent in the wilderness. Do y'all know what he's talking about? Don't worry about it. Give me numbers.
Yes, sir.
26.
God on the one time.
Numbers 21, 6. You got to remember, Christ knew the Old Testament.
That's right.
What did Christ teach? Did Christ teach the New Testament? Was he pulling from Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John? Christ wasn't pulling from Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. He wasn't quoting. He walked with them. Everything Christ said came from the Old Testament. So how are you now going to say I follow Christ but do away with what was said in the Old Testament? You're going against what Christ taught. Christ taught everything back there. You turn away from you going against Christ's people. So now watch what Christ is saying. Read that.
God on the one time. This is Numbers chapter 21, verse 6. And the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much of Israel died.
Who died?
Much of Israel.
The whole world?
Much of Israel.
So who died from getting bit by the serpent? Israel. Black.
That's right. Keep going. I don't know one time, sir. Verse 7. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against thee. Pray unto the Lord that he taketh away thy serpents from us.
Who sinned? The whole everybody? Who is he saying? Who's saying? Who's talking to the Lord right now? The Israelites. This ain't no multitude of people from all nations. We just left Egypt. So the Egyptians wasn't out there. The only people that was out there was the Israelites. And they said, we have sinned. Go ahead.
For we have spoken against the Lord and against thee. Pray unto the Lord that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people.
Keep going.
I don't know one time, sir. Verse 8. And the Lord said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon a pole, and it shall come to pass that every one that was bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live.
Who was bitten? The Israelites were bitten. And the Israelites, this was being done to save the Israelites because they had sinned. So everyone that looks up on the stick, who is everyone? The Israelites. If I say, hey, tonight everybody come to my house, who am I talking to? I'm talking to everybody in this room. I'm not talking to everybody. I'm not talking about everybody. So if you stand up in front of a crowd and read this, and Captain YATAZAQ said, everyone come to his house. The crowd is going to think that they're invited to my house. But they're not. They don't understand the context of it was a Wednesday night law class, and Captain YATAZAQ stood up at the end of the class and said, everyone come to my house. Right. That's the context of John 3:16. You don't know who was supposed to get saved because you don't know who got saved initially. Does everybody understand? This scripture right here is proving to you who he's talking to in John chapter 3. Read it again.
And the Lord said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon a pole, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live.
Keep going.
Verse 9. And Moses made a serpent of brass, and put it upon a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived.
Keep going.
Count it one time, sir. Verse 10. And the children of Israel set forward.
And the who?
Children of Israel set forward and pitched a boat.
So who is this to? The children of Israel. Now go back to John chapter 3. Now we got the context of what Christ is saying in 3 and 14. This is the story that Christ is telling. So what are you saying?
The book of John, chapter 3, verse 14. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up.
As Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness to save who? Israel. Then even though the Son of Man must be lifted up to save who? Israel. The same people. Now, we're going to understand the next part. Keep going.
Comment upon concert. Verse 15. That whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have eternal life.
Well, it said whosoever look up on the serpent could be saved from the bite. It's the same whosoever. All of us. Go ahead. Right.
Yeah, like, you know, black people, like, we waking up. Like, all the 12 times we're waking up. Like, everybody, we basically get to the end.
Absolutely.
Everybody waking up. Like, everybody starting to realize the truth.
Right.
The truth is figured out. That's when everything.
Right. But the thing about the truth is, everybody is waking up to their rendition of the truth. Because everybody that realized they're Israelites is not in the truth.
That's right.
Like the Pharisees and Sadducees, they knew that they were Israelites, but they didn't follow Christ. So they wasn't in the truth. Following Christ is what makes you be in the truth.
That's right.
Just knowing you're an Israelite, that doesn't make you be in the truth. Go ahead.
Y'all don't say Jesus. That's the white man.
You say Jesus, but I'm just saying what y'all know. I would normally say Yahushua. That's the thing.
Because I heard Jesus was like a slave ship.
Yeah, Jesus is Yahushua in English. So it's not wrong to say it. It's just, you know, it's been bastardized, you know what I'm saying, over time. But it's his name in English. So, whosoever believeth in him should not perish, should have everlasting life. You know, let's talk about Israel. Read verse 16 now.
Concept. Verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
So who is the world? Who is the world that he was trying to save? It can only be Israel. It can only be Israel because the whole topic and the whole subject matter is about Israel. We never mentioned nobody else. We're not talking to a bunch of people. It's two Jews having a conversation, and this Jew, know what I'm talking about because he's the ruler of the Jews.
That's right.
This ain't no low-level dumb Jew. This is a highly educated man, and we knew that God never loved no one else because we know he's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and none else. That's how he's always been. How he always been and never changed. Go ahead. The ones today?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, give him a hand. That's the truth right there. The Jewish man is fake. That's the real Jew. Yeah. And it's possible. Yeah. Absolutely. Keep going. Matter of fact, give me Isaiah 45 and 17. Just to help this scripture so you can see that it's this scripture in John 3:16, this is what Christ is quoting in the Old Testament. In Isaiah. He's quoting this.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded. World without end.
Or what without end?
World without end.
Christ is quoting Isaiah in John chapter 3. He's saying the same thing. He said it like this. But God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. Isaiah said that Israel is a world without end. Why? Because once we get in power, we're never ever going to be slaves to anyone else ever again. And we don't have an everlasting king forever. But you're not going to be the king if you don't change. Right? You're going to die here. See, when we left Egypt, the Most High saw it in his mercy to take all of us. This time, he's only taking those that die and become new. If you don't change and become born again, you are going to die here.
That's right.
If you don't change, you can't blame nobody but yourself. Okay. And that's why the Lord is giving us time. He has mercy on us so that we can change and get the opportunity to do better. Everybody like, why he ain't back yet? You better be glad he ain't back because you ain't ready. Everybody like, man, when he gonna come? He been saying it. You better be thankful he ain't did that. Because if Christ came today, you'll be firewood. You'll be out of there. You have nothing to show for. Right? Nothing. So you should thank the Lord for his mercy. And now you have to do everything that you can do to try to get right. Go ahead.
New Testament is like grace. Like, where does that come in?
The great thing when they come in there, okay, because it is the grace of God, because you would have died for what you did in the past. If it wasn't for Christ's death, we would have died for our own sins. But since Christ came, now we have opportunity to change. See, a sinner couldn't change before Christ. A sinner died under 2 or 3 witnesses. So if I caught you doing something, me and him, he's going to tell on you, hey, see, hey, he did it. Because if we saw you and we didn't tell, we were guilty. You feel me? So we had to go tell on you. And you would get stoned. And then you die and you come back. You know, Lord, hopefully you change when you come back. But other than that, you was a goner. But since Christ came, now you get an opportunity to change. But you had no opportunity. Go ahead, sis. Okay. All right. So that's what, go ahead, sis.
So that's kind of like what you just said was kind of like what happened with Sudana, when those 2 Pharisees lied on her and said she was sleeping with somebody in the pool, but it was them that wanted to lie on her.
Yes. Yes, they wanted to sleep with that sister, and they lied because they knew all it took was their 2 witnesses. Now, and they were Pharisees, they were rulers, they were the priests. So now imagine how many times they've done that to girls. Imagine how many times they said, sleep with me, or we're going to tell us that you tried to sleep with us, and we're going to get you stoned. Imagine how many times that happened. She said, I would rather God judge me than you. I would rather go to court and see what the Lord gonna do than to sleep with you and give you power over me and to become a sinner and a whore and all that. She stood on business. She went to court and they thought they were going to get her unalive. Young daddy stepped up and said, let me ask you questions. So you said she tried to sleep with you. Yeah, she tried to sleep with you. Well, oh, she tried to sleep with me under that fir tree over there. Okay, I have no further questions. Go out the room. He go out the room. Say, so yeah, you said she tried to sleep with you. Yeah. Where she want to sleep in? She wanted to sleep with me under this oak tree. Oh, okay. And y'all was together, you and the other buddy, right? Yeah. Everybody in the courtroom was like, call her buddy back in. And the judge like, y'all lied. Because y'all did both just said 2 totally different things. And y'all trying to get this woman killed. Now, whatever y'all want done to her, it's going to happen to y'all. And they got the pressure. See what I'm saying? But that's what's going on for so long. That's why Christ came to take the power away from the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Because they were hypocrites. They were clean on the outside, but dirty on the inside. Just like in a religious leaders now. 3-piece suit, drive Rolls Royce, got airplanes, all that kind of stuff. And sexual dealings. They had the dating parties. Get swallowed up. And swallowing up. That's what they do. And that's your leader. That's when you go in there and ask for God. You seen the video when he talked about swallowed up. I wish I had that video. I just got it. I just, I would have been. I would have been. You see the demon come over. That's who been leading the nation for so long. And now you want to know why we so messed up. Why we so destroyed in our community. Because that's your leaders. They on every corner stealing your grandma's social security check. Pulling up big Lincoln, big Cadillac. Your granny catch the bus to church every Sunday. And then what they tell you when she needs some help. Right, sir. Just go and pray and ask the Lord. Come on, sister, let me hear you. Lord, we come before you with a Rolex on, with a Gucci hat. Go ahead, man.
My grandma gave to that church about 30 or 40 years. And when it was time to lose her house, exactly what they said. We'll pray for you. Even though you put all your time, your effort, and your money into this, when it was time for them to return the favor, they said, we'll pray for you. Unlike in here, where we're a family, we take care of each other.
Absolutely. Man, give them a hand. Because you know what? The Christian church, they call each other Brother Johnson and Sister Johnson. But we really family in here for real. And we brothers and sisters for real. That's right. And this is a real family all over. Like, you couldn't even get in here if you wouldn't have family. See how they first get done. See how everybody saved. Everybody know. One thing we know for sure, ain't no guns or nothing in here. Because we family and we know we're rough people. You know what I'm saying? And that is a beautiful thing to be able to trust each other. And you come up in here and learn how to trust black people again, right? Because we lose that for each other out in the world. Our biggest enemy is each other. Right. White boy step on your shoes, you be quick to forgive him. Because you don't feel that he did it on purpose. Right? You don't feel there's no malice in his heart. You step on these brand new J's like, oh, it's not good. But your brother step on them shoes, he just hates. Right? He hates because I got the cool braids and he ain't got them, so now I got to shoot him. We gotta be better than that. That's right. We gotta have a better relationship with each other other than material things. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Steve.
Let's wait.
Another dynamics between the adult is their acceptance of homosexuality.
Oh my God, get my head.
It's Pride Month.
Oh my God, I didn't talk about this all month. It's Pride Month. Now, let me ask you a question. Is it called gay love? What they said? I'm sorry. Is it called LGBT love? What is it called? It's called pride. LGBT pride. Right. Why? Because they are doing it because they know God said it's wrong. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes them boast against it. Right? Because they want to do something that's against God. Because they're hurt. They're hurt because 9 times out of 10, somebody got molested and they blame God for it. Because you knew if you abused. Let me out. You know what I'm saying? They got abused at the young age. I'm sorry, YouTube. They got abused at the young age. and they blame God for the abuse.
Right.
And now they do something against God for hurting them in their mind. God, you did this, it hurt me, so now I'm gonna do this to hurt you. And I'm gonna live this lifestyle that I know you hate. And I'm gonna do this. That is an attack on the Most High. What they don't understand is the Lord don't fight that. He don't care about you. He's playing with him. He not a boyfriend. Go ahead.
Little scripture that the Lord hates pride.
Yes. The Lord hates all the pride, all of the one of the 7 evil sins that he hates the most. And pride is one of them. And the month is a part of it. So what we're gonna show you is, go ahead.
And I want to say another thing about this Pride Month. Like, this is how you know that that we are the true Israelites, and that everything is done in this world to disrespect us, because the biggest Pride parade is in our land.
Yeah, it's in Tel Aviv. It's in Israel. They take the big. That is how you know it's against the Lord. Why wasn't it Russian? Right. Couldn't be in Germany or something like that. It might have to be in the Holy Land. Because it's a holy war. And that fighting is spiritually and carnally. Go ahead, sis.
What do you have to say for the people that think that they were born a certain way, or maybe they were not abused or traumatizing experience, but they say, you know, I was born into our business places, I was a child and things like that.
Crackhead. So the crackhead was born that way. They're born that way. Pedophiles, they're born that way. That goes for everything. If you born that way, then everybody out here that do things that you murderers, they're born that way. You can't say nothing about them. They always had to breed. They always wanted to, you know, they just had. We started with animals. At a young age. It just got to be. Then they got a refrigerator full of lights. What's wrong with them? Is there something wrong with them? You don't say that. It's something. It is something you have to fight. Christ is telling you got to be born again. All right. There is something that you are born with in this life that you come out with naturally in your flesh that you have to fight. Everybody got a vice. Everybody got something in them that they have to fight. And if you don't fight it, it's going to overcome you, and it's going to be the reason you die. The reason you're unalive. Right? Go ahead.
When the commandments say that to not kill, you know, evil as, you know, evil is a very evil person.
Right?
Y'all get into our case and you kill it. God judges you.
Is God judging you? Okay. There's killing and then there's murder. Self-defense is not murder.
You know, if you were him.
If it's you and him and you have to defend yourself and you try to stop and he keep coming, you gotta defend yourself.
So he gonna beat you.
You gotta defend yourself. The scripture says an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Right? So if I punch you in the eye, you punch me back in the eye. You punch me in the nose, I punch you in the nose. You chip my tooth, I chip your tooth. No, Christ was just telling you to resist evil. He was telling you, don't slap me and I won't have to slap you. If I would have never slapped you, you would never have to be put in a position to want to slap me. So resist evil from the beginning. Don't do it. But if you pull out a knife, pull out a knife. Because it's an eye for an eye. It's a kick for a kick, a knife for a knife, a gun for a gun. That's what it is. lawfully. You know what I'm saying? The Bible don't try to make you weak. God is about you getting beat up and picked on. No, that's what religion is about. And that's why religions teach what they teach. They teach you the power. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, say that. Absolutely. Teach you the power because that's what they wanted us to do. They wanted to condemn the rebels in the slave on the plantation. So you out there with the whole, remember, it's 60 of y'all and 4 or 5 of them. So if any day y'all could have said, we can get all this today. We're going to go set every slave free on every block because from the next 10 mile radius, because there's only 5 of them everywhere. We finna knock these 5 off, go ride 10 miles, knock that 5 off, go ride another 10 miles, and now it's gonna be 300 of us. Because that slave plantation over there got 700 slaves, this plantation had 200, this plantation got 100, means 1,000 of us. They're gonna have to go and get white people from the next 10 towns just to match this 1,000 right here. They have to get that down to the body. So they said, God said. And who did they have teach you?
They had us, Nat Turner.
Your own brother.
That's right.
They pick a black man off the plantation, made him the preacher, just like a Pharisee. That's what a Pharisee was. He was the go-between to the people. So he was the coon, that's the best way to say it.
That's right.
He's the coon. He's the one that's taking the orders from him and giving it down to us, keeping us calm. Christ was bringing a revolution, and that's why when Christ came, he raised up an army like this. That's why it was 5,000 men and women, and they was all sitting on the hill, and he set them down in rank order and fed them. And they was like, oh no, if we don't stop this, the Romans is going to take us out of our seat because we can't control him. So what should we do? And they give me that. All men should believe on him. Go ahead, sis. Should be in that.
Also, whenever I don't work it, but they were only given a certain scripture to teach.
Yes. And that's why you got the slave Bible. That's from John 11 and 50. This is them having a meeting about Jesus right here. It was getting too deep.
Because of John chapter 11, verse 50. Nor consider that it is expedient for us.
Hold on. Start at 47. Watch this.
The book of John, chapter 11, verse 47. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisee a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles.
Listen, they had a meeting about it. The chief priests and the Pharisees, the religious leaders, the Christian pastors, they having the Southern Baptist council. And they coming in and they like, man, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, man? This man is doing too many miracles. You see that? He's doing too many miracles. Keep going.
Not on one concept. Verse 48. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him.
Read that again.
Not on one concept. If we leave him thus alone, all men will believe on him. And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
He said, man, if Jesus keeps getting all of these followers, then they gonna believe on them, and the Romans is gonna take us out of our seat. Man, we gotta do something, and we're gonna lose our place, which is under the Romans, and our nation, because they was afraid to go to war with the Romans because the Romans had better military might. Just like us going to war with America right now.
Right.
We ain't ready to go to war with no drones.
no.
See what I'm saying? And so they were scared. Keep going.
God on one time, sir. Verse 49. And one of them, named Caiaphas, being the high priest, that same year, said unto them, ye know nothing at all.
Keep going.
God on one time, sir. Nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not.
He said, what we need to do is give him up and let him die for the people so the whole nation don't have to die going to war with the Romans. We give him over to the Romans to show the Romans we got the troublemaker. We got him. So you ain't got to go to war with us. I know it's been rocky. I know a couple more black people been talking more noise than white people. But listen, we got the troublemaker now. So don't kill us all. Keep going.
Verse 51. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus should die for that nation.
Who was Jesus dying for? That nation.
That's right.
Jesus wasn't dying. He wasn't dying for everybody. He was dying for that nation. But watch this. Not only in Israel, but what? Read the next verse.
Verse 52.
This is the story.
And not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad.
Cuts. Not only did he die for the Jews in Jerusalem, but he also, read it again.
And not only for that nation only,
Not only for the Jews in Jerusalem, but what?
but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad.
Who is that? The other tribes. That's what Christ's mission was. Christ's mission was to die for Israel, the people in Jerusalem, and the people that left Israel and was people that left Israel and was still Israelites, but they didn't even know it. We gonna have them die for this. Keep going.
Verse 53. Then from that day forth, they took counsel together for to put him to death.
What are they talking about from then on?
They were talking to counsel together for to put him to death.
They took counsel to kill him. Read next verse.
Verse 54. Jesus therefore walked no more openly amongst the Jews.
What did he do? He wasn't going out teaching openly in front of people because now he had to hide. He had to move around, he had to hide in the street. That's why every time Christ is teaching by the water. Right. So right when he get through, he hop on the boat and go move around. Because he didn't want them following him, he didn't want them going where he was going to be. They go sleep on the water some nights. In the middle of the water. So you won't know where they at, so won't nobody run in on them and take them up. Christ been slept on the water because that's the safe place. Keep going.
But went thence into the country near to the wilderness, into the city called Ephraim.
Where?
Into the city called Ephraim. And there continued with his disciples.
Christ went to the land of Ephraim and went and was teaching other tribes. People say that Christ didn't teach the other tribes, he just taught the Jews. He started his ministry teaching the Lord the King.
That's right.
And they rejected him. So, y'all don't understand what this is all about. This is about us coming together and being a family again, being a nation again. The Bible makes a whole lot more sense to me now because it's when I read how rebellious and hard-headed these people are, and I look at us, it makes sense. I'm like, dang, that's us. Like, right? How the hell are you gonna argue with this? Like, and now it makes sense that we putting our nation back together because our king is coming back to rule over the earth.
That's right.
That makes sense. That's something to fight for. That doesn't mean I got to change. Now I see why I got to change. It ain't just, oh, I believe in Jesus, I'm waiting on you. No. We building, we coming back to our culture, we changing. Man, when I grew my hair out and grew my beard out, I was like a totally different person. Who I was in the world, getting haircut, getting lined up, with the, getting high. I was skinny, I was dead. Now look at me, 200 pounds later.
That's right. Man, get out of here.
It's a whole other spirit that's on me that people see now. I'm still me, still who I was, start chopping it up, laughing, joking, go out. You know what I'm saying? Go to the club, we go to the club. We go to the after hour, after hour, right? Go to IHOP. We regular niggas, but we not regular niggas. We ain't in there talking to white girl, we ain't in there getting hot, we ain't in there doing all that old goofy stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? We at the club while they throwing ass, we talking to people about the phone. Hey, what y'all doing here? People gonna see the light if we don't come to the dark place, right? You know what I'm saying? They like, yeah, that's real. And then they show us the flag. You know what I'm saying? We didn't got more brothers out the club than we did at camp, right? We go to camp, stay out there for 10 hours. Nobody coming to school. We go into the club for 3 hours. 7 niggas show up to class the next day from the club, right? We go out to eat with the brothers and come back to class. Why? Because brothers is looking for the truth. They looking for brotherhood, sisterhood, and family. Like the family we were born to, it was a family that we didn't choose. It was just welcome birth. We choose each other in here. Right? The only thing that keeps us united is righteousness. That's right. That's it.
But some of the real right about they make you real something about this. I don't know what it is, but something got me.
It feels familiar.
Yeah.
But you know you ain't never seen it before. Give me 1 Corinthians 14:34. That's why Christ said the spirit goes where it will.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 14, verse 32. And the spirit of the prophets are subjected to the prophets.
You hear what that said? Read it again.
Not on one time, sir. 1 Corinthians, chapter 14, verse 32. And the spirit of the prophets are subjected to the prophets.
You know what that means? That means a prophet, Isaiah, will always die and come back and be a prophet again. Because what?
Because the spirit of the prophets are subjected to the prophets.
The reason you can come in here and smell that smell, what is that? They say frankincense and myrrh. Where have I smelled that? Then you come in here and you look around and you're like, man, this shit look and feel familiar. And who are you? Where you from? You from Houston? Nah, I'm from Milwaukee. You walk around and do that in here all the time. Why? Because what?
The spirit of the prophets are subjected to the prophets.
Because we back. We back in earth. We doing what we've always done. We just had to find each other again. Go ahead.
It's crazy because the whole time I've been here, I've been thinking it.
Yeah. That's the Bible. That's what this is. What this is look on that wall right there. What does that say? The what? The home of the truth.
That's
When you were in the world, you were looking for home. You back in the house with your brothers and your sisters.
So my friend had to go to the go in one year after the other.
Yeah, now you ready to receive it. At first it just was the noise, but now life didn't fuck you enough. You had the life to close calls. So we're asking that like, all right, Lord, what you trying to say? What I need to do? You know what I'm saying? And everything in here and that we do is spiritual. And this is what Christ was trying to get us back to. He was trying to give us a home again because even though we was in Jerusalem, even though we was in the land, we wasn't living according to the spirit of our land, the spirit of what we were supposed to be doing. We were just following, we were just living. It's like you are right there. Going to work, going home, being fake, waiting to die. But now the prophets of God are back in the earth, finding each other from all over the planet. Now, just imagine dying and knowing that you haven't completed your mission and longing to be back in here. You dying in your last life and you're like, man, I know we're not done. And I hope the job get done. And how am I going to find my way back here? And then you come back now, and you don't know how happy. That's why the scripture says, when one soul comes to the truth, the angels rejoice. Because now you back. You found your way back to the work that you've always done. Because the spirit of the prophets are subjected to the prophets. You're going to always come back and do what you got to do until the mission is complete. That's right. Give me when Christ told it to the disciples. The thrones. What shall we get? Matthew? No. Matthew 19, 28. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Matthew chapter 19, verse 28.
Verse 27.
Matthew chapter 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee.
Peter, Christ keep talking about he about to die. Christ keep talking about he about to leave. And so Peter like, damn, we done left our family, we done left our job. We just following you, we forsaken everything and followed you. Keep going.
Out of the one concept. We shall, what shall we have therefore? Verse 28. And Jesus said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit on the throne of glory, ye shall also sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
He said, he said, you that follow me, well, in the regeneration, when I come back, you gonna sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Where is the 12 disciples at right now? Right here in the truth again. Right back in the earth, waiting on a reward from following him back then. He's like, okay, in the regeneration, I'm gonna reward y'all for what y'all did back then. Go ahead. Yeah, it's in the Bible. He just said it in the regeneration. Yeah, it's in the Bible. Go ahead.
Didn't he say that? Possibly done.
Yeah, we not gonna say who nobody is because we don't know who nobody is.
Right.
We just know that the spirits of the prophet are subject to the prophet.
That's right.
That's what we don't teach that this brother is Stephen and that brother is no, we're not doing that. Ain't no way to know. But what we can say is that the spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophet and that the disciples are back in the earth waiting on their reward. Keep going.
Number one concept.
Now this is what you're gonna have to put in your chest.
Verse 29. And everyone that has forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, forsake my name, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting.
The hardest part about coming in the truth is you're gonna not come in the truth for your mama, your daddy, your wife, your children, your cousin. Somebody is gonna make you not come in the truth. He said, if you forsake them and follow me, I'm gonna give you 100-fold. But if you don't forsake them, you get nothing because you are worshiping them, not me. They stopping you from coming and serve me, they're your gods. That's who you worship. You worship your wife, you worship your brother, your cousin, your mama. You so mad, disappoint your father because he's a preacher that you won't serve God. Don't worry about it. You're going to stand before him and say, Lord, Lord, haven't I? He's going to say, depart from me, I never knew you. The same thing you're going to tell your body. If you wasn't with me shooting in the gym when I was broke, don't call me when I hit the lotto. Because you wasn't with me. That's how Christ will be. Christ going to show up and you're going to be running up like, hey, what's good, OG? Right. I don't know. Christ was so still. See, what y'all don't understand about Christ is he was so still. He wasn't no jolly, nice, kind nigga. Give me that Luke 19. Luke 19:21. Christ. Let somebody else look up austere. Austere, Austere. Go ahead, read that.
One concept. So Luke chapter 19, verse 21. For I fear thee, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that thou layest not down.
If I take up something that I didn't lay down, what did I do? Oh, it's big enough and took it. Right. I walk up in your house and be like, good. I'm gonna save that for my mom. You know, and you're gonna look at Christ and be like, okay, because he was austere. Now, give me the definition of austere. Go ahead.
Definition of austere: severe or strict in manner, attitude, or appearance.
That's now give me the synonym.
Stern, strict, harsh, unfeeling, steely, flinchy, grim, cold, frosty, rigid, unfriendly, unemotional, icy, stiff, reserved.
See that? Now imagine him walking on the street with 12 other niggas like him. Ain't no street light. So if you walk outside, this is dark. And they coming up the street, and you know they dragging their feet, and you hear shh, 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 right? And them niggas just talking noise, to you. Get your ass off the street. You're scared. That's Christ. And he said, listen, Christ is the man that killed the tree because it didn't have no fruit when he went to it. He went to a fig tree, and the fig tree didn't have no figs, and he just killed it. He just touched it and made it wither up because it didn't bear fruit when he wanted to eat it. What you think he's gonna do to you? You think Christ's gonna come back and be like, oh, bless my son? Oh, what? That's not how it's gonna go. Christ is solid. Give me another verse. This verse.
Verse 22. And he said unto him, out of thy own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant, that knewest I was an austere man, taking up what I laid not down, and reaping what I did not sow.
He's like, man, you know I don't play. And you playing with me. You know I'm an austere man. All right, we're gonna see. Read verse 20. I want you to read the whole. It seems like it. See, yeah, 22. Yeah, keep going.
Verse 23. Wherefore thou gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required my own with Isupk.
See, the Lord gave each and every one of us a gift, right? To use for his glory, for the betterment of his kingdom. You took the gift he gave you and used it for you and made the white man's kingdom grow. So imagine I give you this gift so that you can make money for the family, so that the family can grow and become rich. You take the gift and give it to another family, now another family rich and your family poor. And so now I come back, I'm like, damn, didn't I give you this? And didn't I give you that? And you're like, yeah, I used it, but I worked for them. You tell me all the gifts I gave all of y'all gave it to them. Okay. Keep going.
Come a long time, sir. Verse 24. And he said unto them that stood by, take from him the pound, and give it to him that hath 10 pounds.
Take from him that got one and give it to him that got 10. You come up in here, you don't bear no fruit. Christ gave his life. How many lives have you brought in here for the life he gave? Christ gave one life. How many lives have you brought in? You bring anybody in? Are you bearing fruit? Are you coming in here to get people out the street, get people out of the world to come here and change their life? A life for a life. You ain't even giving him your life because you still Anita. You still Don Trader. You walk around here with a Hebrew name acting like you still in the world. Okay? Don't worry about it. Keep going.
Verse 25. And they said unto him, Lord, he has 10 pounds. Verse 26. For I say unto you, that unto every one which has shall be given, and from him that hath not, even that he hath shall be taken away from him.
If you got a little bit, the Lord will give you more. But if you ain't got nothing, it's going to make you have less than you had before. What you see happening right now is the Lord is pouring his spirit out, and he's giving you one last chance to come up in here and get it together to increase your penny. But if he come back and you have nothing, he's going to take the little you have and give it to someone else. And take you and do what? Read the next verse. Now he didn't took from you because you didn't give him what he asked for. So now you standing there as an enemy to him because you didn't increase what he gave you. Go ahead.
Verse 27. But those, my enemies, which would not that I reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
What does Christ say?
Here he's saying, he's not coming back, but another thing, 6 my enemies in the mouth. I'm going to slay them You don't want, if you don't follow his laws and commandments, your head will be before you, between your hands.
That's what he said. Go ahead, Yakiman. What you think?
Same thing, you know, serving, you have to do with it.
How did you prove that you don't want to serve him?
How can you prove that you don't want to serve?
How did you prove you didn't want to serve him?
Because you continue to do the things that went against you.
Yes. And you didn't increase what he gave you. So now you're his enemy. And since you ain't producing, let's put it to you in the streets. I fronted you. Hey, yeah, let's make it real. I fronted you some money. I fronted you a brick and gave you some bread. Right? Now, I'm coming back for my bread. And what you got? Nothing. What I'm gonna do?
Slave them.
All right. Christ gave his life. His life. He didn't give another man's life. He gave his life for who? Each and every one of us. And he come back and you still a sinner, you could have died without his death. Don't worry about it. He's gonna say, bring him hither and do what?
Slay them before me.
So behind my back.
Before me.
I don't want to see it.
Before me.
It's gonna be too gruesome.
Before me.
Yeah. Unalive him right in my face. That's the Christ you serve. That's the one that's in the Bible that they put a toga on, put long drapey hair on with blue eyes, and made him just the most loving. Him, that angry, strong, fierce black man, you done made him a homosexual white man. How you think he gonna feel about that? How you think he gonna feel about that? You think he gonna be like, oh, that I know you didn't know any better. Not Christ, not Yahushua, or Mashiach. No. He gonna unalive you in front of him. And he think wake you back up and do it again. Lord, listen, the Lord gave me power. I already know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab you. I'm gonna throw you. I'm gonna throw you like run to the other end, put my sword up on the ground like that. I'm gonna just slap down the sword. Pick your officer, wake you back up, throw you again, and do it again. Why? Because you didn't take this serious. Imagine how many times we came back in our lives and died and lived, and how much torture and pain we've been through. Imagine how many times we've been hung on crosses or hung on trees or tormented or seen our wives get raped in front of abused in front of us and couldn't do nothing. And you was the cool standing in the field, chuckling and laughing and telling on us and all that kind of stuff. And now is Judgment Day. And the Lord sent us out after you. Who do you think he's talking to when he say bring him hither? Who gonna bring him? We are. The men that's not enemies to him. His boys, not his enemies. The one that stood 50 with him. You just don't want to be an enemy. Any questions? Go ahead.
Our problem is like what they said, like, hard line, flat line.
Give them the hand like that. Front line or flat line. Yes, sir. Anybody else got any questions? See?
It's not a topic.
Okay.
$15.29. My question is, concerning a breakdown for Acts 15 and 20. Mostly about the blood.
Like the what? Okay, go ahead and read it.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 15, verse 29. That ye abstain from meats offered to idols, and from blood, and from things strangled, and from fornication, from which if ye keep yourselves, ye shall do well. Fare ye well.
Now, what it's talking about is there are meats that were sacrificed to other gods, like pork. They would kill a pig on the altar and put the blood all over their body. The Lord is, what Paul is saying is, you can't do that. You Israelites, you can't, you gotta abstain from the meat, from the blood, and from strangling from the pagan worship. That's all this is about. This is pagan. He is telling them not to be like the Romans. Because what were we doing? We were going into those pagan customs and doing all those pagan rituals because it looked fun. And that's what you got to understand about all the sin that we do. Most of 99.9% of the things we do is because we saw them doing it and it was fun. We were never the people to get sleeves of tattoos on us. Right. But we seen them do it, it was like, this is cool. We were never the people that were just getting high until we saw them doing it. We were not the people that were getting the orgies. Orgies were things that they did. And they would go out, they've been doing this since the Greeks, they've been doing this since Egypt. Been going on, and we saw them do it, and because we were under so strict but guidelines and rules, we had the parents that wouldn't let you go outside past street lights. That you had to come right home after school. You couldn't dress like this. You couldn't talk like this. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. We had strict rules and guidelines. But everybody else, you look out the window, everybody outside playing. Remember that good view? Everybody outside playing in the house. Like, hey, I just can't go in the yard. Can I just be in the yard, please? Nah, you ain't going up there. Why? Because your mama and your daddy had different rules for you. Well, when you got grown, you know what you did? You never came in the house. You moved out and you never looked back. Why? Because you wanted to go outside. And that's what we did in this time. We got from under being righteous, we like, pagan stuff, they go to the pagan thing. And oh, it's going down. Oh, all these drinks, put the blood on me. And you see it now. People in all these they go to all these festivals, and it's all these things from Greek culture, like a Mardi Gras fest. That's the Greeks. The Bacchus parade, the Zulu parade. Bacchus is in the Bible. It's a festival in the Bible, and the Bacchus parade is still a festival that they celebrate today for Mardi Gras. It's Greek. And what is Mardi Gras? Big party, drinking, getting high, activating the streets, showing your breasts, all that. It was way worse back then. It's been mild down the whole life. Paul is telling them, abstain from it. Don't do it, don't be around it, because these are the things that the Gentiles do. We don't do these. Okay? Okay. Anybody else? Matter of fact, what she just said, drop down to verse 36, it's just going to say what I just said. Because Paul had different churches, and he was going to different schools to check on the different schools to make sure they wasn't doing it. It's the same thing like I do. I'm in Austin today, I'm in Houston another day, I'm in San Antonio another day. I'm in Killeen another day. I'm in Rio Grande. I'm in Port Arthur. What am I doing? Making sure everything is running the way it needs to work. Counseling who needs to be counseled. Dealing with the problems that need to be dealt with. And this is what I say all the time. Read it.
This is Acts chapter 15, verse 36. And some days after Paul said unto Barnabas, let us go again and visit our brethren in every city where we have preached the word of the Lord and see how they do.
That's what we do. We get involved about it. Let's go see what's going on with the thing and see how they doing. Then we leave them. Let's go check some of them. Let's see how they do. That's the same thing they were doing. We are doing what we've always done because
Spirit of the prophets are subject to.
this is all we know. That it? Any questions? All right, with that, we're going to pass class over to Priest and Officer Tamakia. Yeah, go ahead. Back it up. You want to do that now? Do that.
So Isupk security announcement. We got Isupk. Start out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Move from the brother and sister. When the brother and sister come to the school, our commitments for 6 months. There will be some really only. They're here to share themselves to the world. They need interpretation of teachable arrangement. After 6 months, the brother and sister has an interest in a particular person. He or she must give permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months. If it's a brother or sister, we'll call each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will give permission from the head to marry, tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. We'll see to the Hebrew, my Isupk, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give it to the church department or teacher. Preach for them. We will offer the priest, not mandatory. Whatever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation. This will be the Feast of First Fruit. It's after the second of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, sundown, Sunday, April 28, 2024, with the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Count 50 days from that day. Celebrate the 50th day. This will fall on June 17th on a Monday, 2024.
We're going to have a feast here
Right.
on the 17th. So y'all come out to do a feast of first fruit. It'll be your first one, or it's important that we come back to following these feast days because these are the days that the Lord told us to celebrate. We only celebrate the days that our own president tells us to celebrate. So we are detached from our culture. So come out and we'll be here, doing the feast. It'll be a Sabbath service style class. So we'll be reading in Hebrew and all that. Go ahead.
All right. That day will follow Monday, June 27th, 2024. Start before sundown. You can find this in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 10 through 22. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, all black shirt, all black pants, all black headband, all black scarf. I'm also 50 the market, best class record, Captain 10,000 YATAZAQ.
All right, with that, we're going to stand, imagine. We're going to give
We're going to turn the face to the east. Get the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Wadash. Hayah. Shabbat. Malakaka. Yahweh. Malakaka. Tabayah. Hayah. Hashat. Shabbat. Hayah. Hashemayim. Lakam. Ko. Yawah. Masalak lana. Kabawak lana. Masalak lana. Kabawak yana. Walaha. Tabayana. Tabayana. Panasaya. Go. Yahweh Shano.
Ashayna,
Maya.
Maya,
Right. Taya. Lata. Amalakwa. Wahala. Wahatapara. Babalaitu. Aman.
Give me English. Our Father.
Our Father.
Which art in heaven.
Hallowed be
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh. The kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be
Thy will be
done.
done.
In
In
earth.
earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day
our daily bread.
our daily bread.
Forgive us.
Forgive us
our debts.
our debts.
As we forgive.
We forgive
Our
our
debtors.
debtors.
And lead us not.
And lead us not
into temptation.
into temptation.
But deliver us.
But deliver us
from
from
evil.
evil.
Thine is the kingdom.
Thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever. So be it.
So be it.
So, turn face front. Then the courtesy salute. Men of Israel. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Barak. Yakin Matam. So, sisters Imagine stand. We'll first speak to the sisters. Men of Israel. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Barak.
Yahweh Shemal Allah Shabbat.
Yakin Matam. Barak, come on up here.
Shalom, concert. Today, you know what I'm saying, we're going to salute one of our white men, that means sisters in the English. Dominant, come to the front. Hey, this sister right here, she's been holding it down for the ISUPK Austin, Texas for like 6 years, man. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You know what I'm saying? General Muhammad gave me an order, and he told me, if this sister don't change, then she's not gonna change. So today, we're gonna rename this sister today within the Most High, and let these angels rejoice, man.
The sister name would no longer be what it was. Her name would be Shana'a. Shana'a, which means to change. That's what it means. It means to change, and it means to alter and become different. And this sister has done that, and she's just beginning to change. Because the way she came in, this is fire. But she is a totally different person than she was when she first came in. And everybody knows that when you come in here, you get a name based off of your spirit, based off of who you are, and you need to become more like that, or who you're not, and you need to be more like. And this is to deserve this name because she has done a lot of work, and I'm proud of you, sis, for real. All right, so we're gonna say, we're gonna say the prayer first, then you're gonna say your name, all right? Can you run? Shana'a. Shana'a. All right. Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Shana'a.